So this is going to be sort of a one-shot wonder because I recorded this before, but then the battery in my regular camera died, so I can't get it off of there in order to edit or upload, and my entire weekend is crazy because I'm going into the tech for the show that I'm just opening, so I don't have time to redo it, and I apologize for that. So we don't even get the opening credits, which kind of sucks. Anyway, so we're talking about conventions. And I think that there's three basic reasons why people go to conventions. The first reason is to meet people who have similar interests, because humans are social beings and we like to think that we're not crazy or alone. And if you haven't seen Zay Frank's video yet called People Who Think Like Me, that's a really good one. I'll put a link to it somewhere because it's really good. The second reason why people go, and yes, this is a Hello Kitty Band-Aid on my finger because Hello Kitty Band-Aids were only about $2 at the store instead of $4 for regular Band-Aids, so I'm officially 5 years old now wearing a Hello Kitty Band-Aid on my finger. But the second reason why people will go to conventions is to learn something. And as a person who has worked various trade shows, it's kind of fun when somebody comes actually wanting to learn something, because then you can share your knowledge, and that's much cooler, I think, than the people who just sort of skim by and aren't really listening to what you're saying and aren't interested. Seriously, when you're working a trade show booth and you have to stand there for 8 hours a day for 4 days in a row, largely answering the same questions over and over again, it's really nice when one person a day is interested in what you have to say. So I like the people that go to conventions to learn things. And I think the third reason why people go to conventions, excuse me, I'm a little bit hoarse this morning. I think the third reason why people go to conventions is maybe the biggest reason, and that's for the hookup factor. In the Lindy convention, in the Lindy world, we used to have exchanges, and we had a term for this, the Lindy hookup, or the exchange hookup, which is one of those things where you meet somebody on Friday and you have this connection, so you rearrange your housing and you spend every minute with them and you eat all your meals with them and everything, and you think that this is real and true and lovely. And then on Sunday, when you go home to Seattle and he goes home to Tallahassee, you realize that really, no, this probably can't work because he's in Seattle and you're in Tallahassee, so it just sort of fizzles and dies. And then you see each other at another exchange and you're just like, hey, and you have a dance, and then you watch him hook up with somebody else, so you go hook up with somebody else. And I'm not saying that that's a good thing, and I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but we are humans, we are social in nature, and we like physical interaction with one another. So when you find somebody that has some sort of similar interest, you go and hook up with them, and that's kind of fun for 3 days, and it's a weird sort of mini relationship, and I think a lot of people enjoy that. And I am perfectly aware of the fact that I'm talking to probably a lot of people who will be going to VidCon coming up, and I'm guessing that there's going to be some VidCon hookups, and I'm guessing that there's people who are even going to VidCon hoping to find somebody to hook up with, because as vloggers, people who are really into vlogging and blogging, most of our connection happens online and not in person. So I don't know, maybe these people have girlfriends and boyfriends, or maybe they don't, and the only chance that they have to hook up with other people and get some sort of physical contact is at a convention like VidCon. So good luck to everybody at VidCon. Have fun there. I'll be going back to Comic-Con this summer with my best guy friend, so I'm not anticipating any Comic-Con hookups, which is fun, because Comic-Con for me really isn't about the hookups. It's about going and being goofy and being surrounded by geeks for 4 days in San Diego, which I love because the whole town gets in on it. It's fantastic. And if you haven't seen it yet, I posted a little video about when I went to C2E2 a couple weeks ago and got John Barrowman's autograph, and he meowed at me, and it's adorable, so I'll put a link to that in here somewhere too. Anyway, sorry for the super rapid fire conversation and the fact that there's no titles on this, but I wanted to get something up before I go into tech this weekend and essentially disappear from all things social. See you next week.